Okay, guys, we'll talk a little bit more about this as time moves on, and there's an entire course dedicated to some really great ways to attack different needs that you may have. But let me tell you a quick story. So, in the area of Pennsylvania where I spend part of my year, um, I was at a grocery store, and my cart, as a vegetarian, and most of the time trying to be a practicing vegan, my cart was filled with vegetables, basically vegetables, nuts, fruits, basically non-dairy, non-animal products. So no meat, no cheese, no eggs, no dairy. Guy comes up to me and says, "You're gonna buy all that?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, you're very healthy." I said, "I try to be." And he said, what if I told you that I could get you a lot of that stuff for free?" I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "I work and run the local food bank, and a lot of what you're gonna buy here, we have an overabundance of." And he said to me, or I mean, I'm sorry, I stopped him and I said, "Listen, I appreciate what you're saying here. I appreciate what you're putting down, but the problem is, uh, what you're putting down is not something that I'm interested in, because I don't want to take from people that need, that really need." And he said, "Let me explain something to you." And guys, you have to understand, this is just my personal experience, okay? I'm not saying this is going to be true for everybody in their local area, or that this is even a good idea for everybody in their local area. I'm merely here to help you, okay? He said to me, "Do you earn under X amount of money every year?" I said, "Well, yeah. I wish that wasn't true. I wish I earned more, but yeah, for now, yeah, I really do." And he said, "Okay." You come up to my food bank. Um, you don't even have to fill out paperwork. All you have to do is show us your ID that says that you live locally, and we'll take care of you. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I want you to understand and not miss about this story. He said, especially for your dietary interests as a vegetarian, most people in the area that you live in, Michael, they have no interest in vegetables, or very, very little. They want meat, cheese, bread, milk, and more than likely, they want ready-made meals, whether it be canned goods that don't even need heated up, even though I don't recommend that. Always heat something that's canned just to kill bacteria, just in case. I got very sick off of vegetable soup one time because I did not heat it properly. Um, so that's kind of a little sensitive subject for me. But not only do they prefer canned goods, but they prefer microwavable meals. Um, Convenience, convenience, convenience. And he said that's just the way it is. He said, so we have so many veggies that barely get looked at, touched, or given away, that we give them away to local pig farmers to feed to their pigs. And I said, "You're kidding me." He said, "No." So he said, "You're well below the cutoff for what you need to earn to not receive benefits," meaning for how little you earn, you definitely qualify. And secondly, you're worried about stepping on people's toes. You don't even eat the stuff that the majority of these people want. Majority of these people either don't want to cook, or they don't have the time or ability to cook. They want canned goods, they want microwavable meals, and they want convenience big time. Um, so, you know, me giving you a basket of zucchini, apples, I don't know, an onion or two, a few avocados, and a loaf of bread every week, trust me, they're not gonna miss it. And so I want to make sure of this. I want to come by and find out, and double check on all of this. And it absolutely was true. Um, even when I loaded up and took more than I needed, um, for reasons that I won't disclose here, because it's a legality thing. I don't want to get anybody in trouble in any way, shape, or form. Even when I took more than I needed, um, it still didn't even begin to put a dent. And I usually arrive next to last. I wait till the end of the day to go. So it gives, because when this place opens up, there's a line out the door. But even then, at the end of the day, there's more than enough for guys like me that show up who only take specific things. And I've even made sure of it by volunteering that um, there's more than enough for the volunteers, basically to get payment in the form of food. So if you volunteer, at the end of the day, you yourself can get some groceries, and then even more than enough to donate to local farmers, um, to give their pigs and livestock food. Way more than enough. Now that may not be true in your local town and community, but it's worth a look, because in what I spend for groceries every week, it was dramatically cut down, because number one, I fall under the actual qualifications to go to a local food bank, but I also really do not take much of anything that's of importance to most of the people going there. So I understand that's kind of a touchy subject and you may not be interested in that. But for me as a vegetarian, and checking out the local services to make sure I did not take from anybody, it was way, way, way fine, beyond fine. Um, so this is something to think about, guys, because if you can save $60 a week, maybe even more, by getting the bulk of your produce, and thus even slowly starting to change your life into a healthier lifestyle by getting that produce and realizing, well, this isn't prepared for me, so I need to learn how to cook. What am I going to do with zucchini? I don't know, make zucchini parm, make zucchini bread, make stir fries. You have to cook that stuff. Similar to everything we've talked about already, production, finance, it's not hard. You just need to look up a recipe and do it. And within less than an hour, you've got a great meal. It's lower in sodium, it's lower in fat, um, it's higher in protein, and you've got yourself a good meal, and you've got yourself leftovers for tomorrow. You'll see that it's a blessing in disguise to change your life and live a healthier lifestyle. You may not think about it at your local grocery store and buy it, but when you go to a food bank and they just give you, a box of food, you realize, well, this is what I have for the week. It really puts a challenge on you to be like, this is what I have. What am I going to do with this? I've never cooked with this before. No big deal. Just look it up. Just look it up. And you'll see that you can cook some really delicious meals, when you are, what should I say, censored, or more so limited by that which you were given and not that which you bought on your own accord. So I like that challenge as well. You give me a box of seasonal vegetables and I'm challenged for the week on what to make, versus going to the store and not being challenged at all because no one decides for me at a store. I decide myself with my own preferences and my credit card, my bank account, on what I choose to buy. When you limit that based on what you actually get, you expand your horizons and your health, in my opinion. So it's a great way to save money. It's a great way to change your life. It's a great way to give back. If you don't feel good about taking, you can volunteer. You can also do things that maybe aren't totally right here in front of your screen, but things that might be an offshoot of this, like start your own garden. Think about how much money you could save if you just started your own garden in your backyard, or had chickens that produced eggs every day, if you're into that sort of thing. So there's things that you can do, and I really welcome you to think about that. And this goes back to kind of moving out of the city where people are concentrated and expenses are at a high, at a premium. When you move out to the country, you can do things like this and save a lot of money. So it's not that it's not that the city is bad per se. It's just I'm finding that living in the country is more beautiful. There's way less crime, there's way less pollution, and there's way more options. And even if I didn't exercise even half of those options that I have, like growing my own food or going to a local food bank or having chickens, which I don't do anyways because I'm vegetarian, um, the general expense, even if I did nothing else other than chose to buy property in the country rather than the city, the general expense of living is just dramatically lower. So, things to think about, guys.